Tubular bells.
Nope. Run for the playoffs.
We are getting close to the playoffs. So.
Hey, everybody, welcome back out to the National Players Club Garage Pod. This is week 7 of us doing what we do best. And it looks like we are going to have a run for the playoffs, at least in the South Division.
Yes.
So
we are with the two-man booth tonight. Aaron's out. And you got me, Kevin Riley of the Emerald City Lanterns, and my boy,
Clint Davis, Total Chaos. So, and probably in and out this evening will be Trudy Petrowski. Or it should be Trudy Davis. She just hadn't gotten around to changing her name yet.
Don't blame her.
Yeah, shut it. But she'll probably peek in with us every now and then. Trudy of Show Me Those TDs. So, jump into this week.
Let's kind of recap what happened last week in the.
Last week was a massacre for the South.
Oh,
or yeah, for the South.
Just about everybody in the South took a loss. Sorry, as we get the soundboard up and running again. Yeah. So myself and Christine were the only ones that pulled out a win against the North. Our first week against our division rivals, or outside the division. Outside the division. And good showings for myself and Christine. You know, we put up some points against our bunkmates there. And actually, let's start with Christine and Devo, which Christine with the Annihilators 106 points, DC Comics 75 points.
DK,
what DC?
No affiliation.
You're DC Comics from now on. Devo.
Don't take it literally. Yeah, Devo looks like he's starting off strong, and now he's having players that are having trouble showing up and playing the game.
He had a great draft. I mean, we were all complimenting on him.
He did. I mean, like I said, he started off with us.
Second year with us.
Last year was his first year.
Yeah, and he's been solid this year. He had some good players, but they're just not. And, I'm looking at his lineup right here. He opted for Andrew Luck last week. Taking the risk on the rookie quarterback. But you got Josh Freeman putting up 33 points on his bench.
Yeah, well, and see, that was the thing is the last 2 weeks, Freeman hasn't been that kind of quarterback.
Right.
Luck has. So, I mean, you kind of go with the matchups and everything, and it looked like Andrew Luck was going to have an easier day.
Right.
He didn't.
No. 2 picks, fumble. I mean, putting up 5 points. And that's rough. I mean, you got a tough matchup coming up this week.
You drop those 5 points. You had 33 into it. You're back in the game.
He wins the game. He wins the game because he's only down.
Well, no, that would have put him if you dropped the 5.
31 points. So that's you'd have been close.
Yeah,
there's some other points you left on your bench.
Yeah, defenses. I know he had Bill's defense, who turned it on last week
against the Vikings, who had a very tough matchup last week.
And for a tough matchup, for Tennessee not being as tough as they've been planned to be, they finally showed up. Even Chris showed up. And Aaron and I talked about it, and I had struggles last week and literally went, Hillman, no, Johnson, no, Hillman, no, Johnson. And I switched it 4 or 5 times, and as I went to switch it back to Chris for the last time and walk away from the computer 5 minutes before game time, so I thought I was wrong. I was already locked out, so there was 15 points sitting on my bench.
Yeah, you knew Tennessee was due. You knew, because they've had a couple of bad performances.
It's Tennessee's second run this year.
But they were playing. The Vikings have been tough this year. They're tied for the lead in the NFC North. So
they bottled up Chris for a little while, and then after the second half, he found his hole.
So let's go to the Burn and Gordo. Oh, this is a terrible beating for Gordo.
I know. It's like he decided not to set his lineup.
I know, 79 points.
Actually, I looked at his lineup going into tonight. He had a lot of players on bye. Exactly. He had a lot of players on his bench. He has probably 30 points on his bench. Oh, you got it. Pull it up.
Let's see here. We're working without paper. We're paperless here.
Yeah, we're doing this ad lib.
Yeah, 34 points. 34 points on his bench. And that's out of 3 players. His backup defense, Joe Flacco, and Owen Daniels.
Yeah.
So everybody else was on a bye. So, that's Gordo. Phillip Rivers, I know he was a holdover for you.
Rivers has looked strong in the last few games. And then last night, 31 unanswered points No, it wasn't last night. Monday night.
Not Monday night.
31 unanswered points from Peyton and the Bronx. I mean, they literally just. It was like they toyed with them for the first half of the game.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll play towards the end of this third quarter.
We're only playing 30 minutes of football, is what Peyton said.
They didn't even play 30 minutes because I stepped in at the third quarter and it was 24-3.
Yeah.
And I went, good night.
Exactly.
You know, that should have been game over.
Gordo, I think from here on out, I mean, Flacco is on his bye this week, I believe. No, they're not. No, they're playing.
Week 8, Flacco and the Ravens are on a bye.
But
trust me.
I think you need to stick with Flacco from here on out. I don't think
that's kind of hard to do though because Flacco he's middle of the board. I mean, he's almost in the same range as Romo except without all the problems.
But I think consistently he's putting up more points than Philip Rivers.
We'll have to go back and investigate that later.
We will. And one of the breaks we'll do that. We've got a quarterback comparison coming on. This will be another good.
We'll do a couple of them. Yeah,
we'll do two.
The River Flacco incident.
Exactly. For the burn, Aaron Rodgers, I think, shut up a lot of critics this week. 47 points, 6 freaking touchdowns.
What's wrong, Aaron? What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I came to play.
Exactly. I mean, he proved why he is an elite quarterback in this league, and just stuck
6 touchdowns, 3 of them to Jordy Nelson.
6 touchdowns,
3 to Jordy,
which didn't help John.
Jordy got beamed up.
But I mean, every player other than Fred Davis put up double digits, and that's if she would have flexed out and put in, you got Nate Burleson or even Steven Jackson, those would have been double digits from every single one of your players, this week.
Yeah.
And just made Gordo look even bad. But I'm sorry about that, Gordo.
You know what? If those other 2 players, or just the one really, Fred Jackson would have showed up, or is it Davis or Jackson? Davis.
Yeah,
Fred Davis. If he would have shown up half of what he's been showing up, she probably would have broke the 200 mark.
She would have easily. So let's go to the Gnomes and 2 Pump Chubs of Oklahoma. I like seeing Brandon.
And he keeps talking about people laying down.
You lost by 18 points. It was a close game. And you didn't leave a whole lot of points on your bench. There wasn't a lot for you to make up there. Although Jimmy Graham on a bye, you didn't have a tight end, you haven't paid. That's points right there. So, and I got to look forward to that. I got money coming in right now, so I'll be able to be set for my bye.
I broke loose last week and did some stuff that I really hate doing just to make some extra money for mine and Trudy's anniversary, and I paid.
Rosedale.
Huh?
On Rosedale.
No, it wasn't Rosedale. I don't ever go that far. So, but no, she's got her league fees in, and now I need to get mine in because I'm fixing to run into no
buzzsaw. You got a buzzsaw coming up in the north, so
yeah, I'm fixing to run a gauntlet. It's ridiculous.
But to go back over this, I kind of liked seeing Brandon getting it taken to him. But it was a close game. Erica,
18 points is very close to our league.
That's absolutely.
That's obtainable in 30 seconds in our league.
Exactly. So. But Erica, you put Cook in over Aaron Hernandez, his first game back.
That would be the board bet from last week. Aaron took Aaron Hernandez for more points. Erica took Jared Cook. Aaron, board bet won. So
I hope that pays off for you. It pays.
It's a big dollar right there, baby.
Big dollar.
Was a book it.
Book it. But even then, if you look at their bench points, it was close on the bench. This was a very, very close game all the way around. Next, let's go to. You like how I'm flying through this?
Yeah, this is kind of nice. Although we only got about 5 minutes left.
We'll go to Road Rash. I'm saving you and me for the last year. Road Rash and TD. Trudy coming off her first win last week. Hard win for me.
There's really nothing she could have done.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Maybe, and I told her she needed
2 points
to get
from Roethlisberger.
Yeah. Her defense.
Defense is 7 points right there. But Mike.
Yeah, it's still 40 points more than.
Exactly.
So.
RG3, what concussion? He came back. And
that was ridiculous. You will not see those type of numbers out of him.
Yeah, look at that. 138 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, passing touchdown. You know,
For a quarterback to get 100+ rushing yards is retarded. That means you have no running game.
well, you look at his rushing touchdowns. Okay, 7 yards and 76. A quarterback rushing for 76-yard touchdown is unheard of.
Why is he having to run that far? That's my question.
Exactly, because you're playing a bad defense. But they were playing. Were they playing the Vikings last week?
They
were playing the Vikings last week, and the Vikings do not have a bad defense. You know, they have a good defense. I mean,
But the fact that your quarterback has to get out from behind the line of scrimmage and go is retarded. That's bad offensive line.
bad offensive line. Yeah.
And for a defense not to see a quarterback scrambling his little tail feathers off.
But Mike did leave
Seriously.
points on the bench. Unfortunately, Hartline was on a bye. Nothing going on. So, I mean, there's an extra 17, 18 points, 24 points you could have put in there. So,
Yeah, 125 points on your bench. Ridiculous.
yeah, I mean, that would have beaten
Anybody.
a lot of people this week. But we got two more matchups we're going to talk about from last week.
We still got a couple minutes.
We got a couple minutes
Throw
left?
one out.
All right, well, we'll go with yours here.
Yeah, mine was a no-show.
Yeah,
There was nothing I could have done. I mean,
35
even looking at my bench.
lost by 35 points. Meat Puppets put up 105. Chaos 70. You know, Aaron had a good outing. You know,
He had a great outing.
there
For 100. Well, I wouldn't say great for what he had.
For 105
but
points.
yeah.
Antonio Gates showing up. You know, 26 points.
I was hoping to tie until I looked at the bench, which is ridiculous. We tied on the bench.
Tied on the bench. Yes. Then what's it go? Then it goes down as a tie, then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I could have started my Ravens, which would have been 8 points. I could have started Chris, which would have been 15 points altogether because my starting running back, the one I was bouncing back and forth. This guy has been talked about all offseason, was drafted by Washington to be a starting running back. Then Noshawn Marino and Willis McGahee are both back in the lineup, but he's coming in third. Willis McGahee's out, so now he's back up against No-Show, who's not. Noshawn Marino puts up less yardage when this kid gets the rock.
Right.
But they haven't been giving him the rock. I mean, it's ridiculous. He got 3 rushing yards last week, and they just quit using him.
He's what team's he with?
Denver.
Denver. Yeah. It's and they're pass first. You know.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you can't solely rely. I mean, with Peyton Manning behind center, you can rely on pass only.
You're down 28 points or whatever at
Yeah.
half, and you know your running back's not going to see the ball.
No.
You know, at all.
Which is the reason that's right. I mean, going into the second half, I had 0 points out of my running back and my kicker because they're both from Denver.
Yep.
And then at the end of the second half, I had 5 more points. Yay! Denver kicked the ball 5 times.
When your kicker outscores the running back,
That's ridiculous.
It's pretty bad.
So,
If we can just real quick,
fire it out. We got about a minute.
we got Emerald City Lanterns, me taking it to Barflies. Barflies, we're gonna get into this later about the quarterback situation. I mean, Peyton had a good outing.
Peyton had a great outing.
Andy Dalton had a little bit better outing. And it turned out for me that Felix Jones is going to be a good pickup on draft day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I had solid performance from all my double digits for everybody in my
Yeah,
starting lineup.
everybody showed up this week for you, which is a good thing.
Yep.
Stick around. We'll be back here in just a little bit.
All right.